In 2003, researchers at UCLA ran one of the strangest experiments in the history of neuroscience. They put people inside a brain scanner and had them play a simple video game. The game was called CyberBall. Three players tossed a virtual ball back and forth on a screen. At some point during the game, the other two players stopped throwing the ball to the person in the scanner. They just passed it between themselves and ignored the third player completely. The person in the scanner knew, rationally, that this was just a video game. They knew the other players were strangers, that none of this had any real consequence. And yet their brain responded as if they had been physically hurt. The same regions that activate when you break a bone, when you burn your hand, when you are in genuine physical pain, lit up during a video game where a cartoon excluded them from a ball toss. This was not a metaphor. The brain makes no meaningful distinction between a broken bone and being left out. Rejection is not something that feels like pain. It is pain, processed by the same neural circuits, registered by the same brain regions. Naomi Eisenberger and Matthew Lieberman were the researchers behind the study. They were testing a hypothesis that had floated around social neuroscience for years without direct evidence. The hypothesis was called the social pain overlap theory. It proposed that social connection was so critical to human survival that evolution wired the brain to treat its absence as a physical threat. The logic runs like this. For most of human evolutionary history, being excluded from a group was a death sentence. No shelter, no food sharing, no protection from predators. A human alone was a human who did not survive long. So the brain developed an alarm system for social exclusion, the same way it developed an alarm system for physical danger. The same alarm, the same regions, the same signal. When the CyberBall data came back, the fMRI scans confirmed it directly. The anterior cingulate cortex, the region that processes the unpleasantness of physical pain, activated during social exclusion. And the activation correlated directly with how much distress the participants reported feeling. The more rejected they felt, the more their brain lit up in a pain response, not as a side effect, as the primary response. But the researchers found something else in the data. A second region also activated during exclusion, the right ventral prefrontal cortex. This is a region associated with emotional regulation, with suppressing distress. The brain was not just registering the rejection as pain, it was simultaneously trying to turn the pain down. This is why you can sometimes be rejected and feel oddly numb for a moment before the feeling hits. Your brain's regulation system fired first. Then the pain broke through. There is a finding that makes this even more literal. In a follow-up study, researchers gave participants acetaminophen, a common over-the-counter painkiller. People who took it daily for 3 weeks reported significantly less social pain in everyday life than people who took a placebo. A drug designed for headaches and muscle aches reduced the pain of rejection because at the neural level, they are the same kind of pain. Now consider what this means for the rejection you experience in ordinary life. The message that goes unanswered, the group that moves on without you, the person who pulls away, the job application that comes back as a no. Each one is processed by a brain that was never designed to treat these as trivial. Your brain has no category for low-stakes rejection. It has one alarm, and it fires regardless of whether the threat is a predator or an unanswered text. This is why rejection is so difficult to rationalize your way out of. The part of your brain doing the processing is not the rational part. It is the same ancient system that processes being burned. You cannot think your way out of a burn. The CyberBall study has been replicated dozens of times, across cultures, across age groups, even in children as young as 9. The response does not require a close relationship. It does not require a meaningful rejection. Being excluded from a ball toss by strangers you will never meet, in a game that does not matter, for less than 10 minutes, produces a measurable pain response in the human brain. That is how sensitive this system is. That is how much your brain is built to need connection. And here is the detail that should stay with you. The participants in the original CyberBall study knew the game was not real. Some of them were explicitly told before the scan that the other 2 players were just a computer. They still felt rejected. Their brains still responded. Knowing something is irrational does not stop the alarm from firing. The pain of rejection does not wait for your permission. It registers first, every time.